In. Welcome. Good afternoon, and welcome to One Thing Tech. Oh, you know what? I don't even have my background up, guys. It's one of those days. It's Monday. It is Monday indeed. Well, hey, let's start off real quick with some ahas. Did you guys get some cool things accomplished this weekend? I'd love to hear from anybody that went in and customized their pipeline. Anybody get a chance to work in some checklists or document their systems and work any of that in?
I worked on smart plans for Facebook follow-up, Facebook ad follow-up.
All right.
So it's a work in progress.
Isn't it all?
Just getting all the Twilio and all the steps set up. I'm ready to pull the trigger to test it on myself. So that's the next step.
Okay, awesome.
Happy?
Very good, very good. Well, hey, we did commit to you that we would have the videos up, all these trainings up in a central location so you guys could watch them after the fact. We do have them up for the Go offices. We're still waiting on them to go live for the rest of the region. I am going to have a YouTube channel with all of these One Thing Tech trainings condensed into that, and I will have that out to you this week as well. So stay tuned for that. We definitely want to get you guys. I know some of these videos can be really beneficial, more so if you can go back and watch them again and again and again. That's part of the beauty of virtual training rooms, is that you can pause it. You can accomplish that piece, and then you can hit play, and then pause it again, maybe rewind, listen to something. I don't know if you guys are anything like me, I'll listen to the same piece 3 times over before it really sinks in. I am the person that will read an entire chapter of a book 3 times in a row sometimes without moving on, which if you guys listen to Audible, that actually really helps me because I'm able to barrel through to the finish. Otherwise, I get stuck on chapters sometimes myself. So I will pull up real quickly, share my screen here. As soon as Christy Lee, if you would enable screen sharing for me, please.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not doing that for me.
Yeah, it's all right. It happens sometimes. So I do want to point you guys to a resource. As always, if you go to kwconnect.com, you can point at technology and command your business. And it is a great list of resources where if you're looking for more training, you can dive in. Here we go.
You should be good.
Yep, looks like it. All right. And you guys should be able to see this here. So again, if you're at kwconnect.com, go to technology, command your business, and you can scroll through. Today, we're going to be in the 4th section right here, command your marketing, with designs, campaigns, and sites. We're going to spend our time in designs. We're talking about listings. And so I'm going to come back over here. Let's go to designs real quick. Okay. What I do want to show you guys is what a digital listing presentation looks like. Now, the beautiful thing is if you do this right, your digital listing presentation and your physical listing presentation, the consult guide itself, the materials will be the same. In fact, I strongly recommend get something that looks really good on your computer screen and looks good in a handout because then you can use both. We have consumers, we've got sellers, and buyers for that matter, because I will say this tactic can be used just as well for buyers as it can for sellers. We've got sellers that would much prefer to just view this on their smartphone and flip through. Some of the sellers would like to see it on their TV if you blow it up there, or they'd like to look at your iPad or your Surface tablet as you're sitting there in front of them flipping through. Some of them want just a physical handout, a paper pamphlet, and that might work for you. As we talk later in the week about setting virtual listing appointments and actually conducting the listing presentation virtually, digitally, online, you may have sellers that still want you to hand them, drop off at their doorstep, a packet for them to flip through on paper where they can go through, sanitize it, and sit with you face to face online and still flip through the paper. And that's great. We should be able to present that, right? As Tommy said this morning, this is not an or, it is and. You know, what can I do? Can I present this and this thing? What kind of behaviors can I take on in addition to what I've been doing instead of just replacing the things that we've always done? How can we supercharge? So we're going to look at supercharging our listing presentation. many of us have had access to Michael Lewis Marketing Suite for a long time. You may have something from previous to that. I know there were listing presentations that you would get I mean, all over the internet, right? Somebody's given you at one point. The problem is they can be very difficult to edit, and they can be quite time consuming when you personalize it to yourself. We now have the ability within Command to create something that is really clean and it takes hardly any time at all. So this is what a digital listing presentation would look like created straight out of Command. And I'm just going to flip through this, and then we're going to get into how to actually create this, all these individual pieces. And keep in mind that much of this will probably need to be updated. What do you actually commit in your coming soon and your just listed campaign is going to look a little bit different right now with coronavirus rampant than when we would offer our traditional marketing. Our open house strategy obviously is going to change. But just know that this is very clean, very nice looking professional marketing that is created for you that you don't have to do aside from just customize it to yourself. So let's dive in and see how to create it. I will tell you, I create this in 2 separate steps. So we're here in Designs on the left-hand side of Command. We're going to click Print. And when you hit these buttons at the top, it's going to show you a list of all the different things that you've already created. This will not take you to the ability to create pieces. This is going to look at the things that you've already created. So I can see a list of listing presentations that I've got. I've changed my behavior now. I used to overwrite and then just save PDFs on my computer, but I've just made peace with the fact that I'm going to have a bunch of different templates in here. And so I've just created a bunch and I've titled them by the addresses. But what you'll see here is just the first piece of the listing presentation. And don't worry, folks, you're not going to miss much right now. I'm just showing you what these look like, and then we're going to go back and talk about actually creating them. So what I've got here are just the first 6 pages of that file that you saw. So I've got the cover page, which is customized to them specifically, the sellers. This next page is really nothing that's customized. It's going to be the same in every one of them. This one's customized to the property with some information about the property there. This one's customized to the neighborhood with a neighborhood snapshot and then information on the side. This one's customized with the comparable properties specifically, just 4 of them, makes it easy. And then this one, the only part that's customized really is just this little address box at the top. I keep it in there because all the rest of this stays, but I do change that address box at the top every single time to reflect the address that I'm running the consult on. So all the rest of the pages can live by themselves completely separately, and you can combine the 2 after the fact. So let's go back. Now, if you do, I will say this real quickly. Let me stop the share and I'll pull it back up. I'm going to assume in just this moment that you have Adobe Acrobat on your computer. This is an Adobe product. It's not real expensive, but there is a cost to it. And it allows you to take PDFs and split them apart and merge them together and organize pages and all those kinds of things. I'll tell you this, if you do not have Adobe Acrobat, I'm not condoning that you go out and buy it right now, and that's okay. I'm just looking at best practices. Understand this, you can create your entire property template all in one. You don't need to divide the 2. You don't need to do the 6 pages at the beginning and then all the rest of the pages separately. You can keep your entire template all together. Just showing you what I do because it saves me time. It's a lighter file to download. So I'll go back and share my screen again. All right. So if we want to create a new piece, we're going to come here in Designs, hit the plus button at the bottom right. We're going to go to Print because this is a full letter size PDF here, and we'll hit Next. As we're going through this, hang on one second, folks. Having a hard time pulling up the chat box here. There we go. All right. And Christy Lee did say that Jeff will upload the videos tonight to the, let's see, it's the ntxnmmforum.com. So that is
Okay.
wonderful. And then as well, I'll get you guys the YouTube channel link later on just for these trainings. But when Jeff uploads to the ntxnmmforum.com, it will include the rest of the trainings that we've got that Maria is leading as well. Perfect. All right, so we are here within designs. Again, these are all print designs. What we're going to see mostly are postcards, but we're going to ignore all those postcards. On the left-hand side, we're going to click listings. Now we have a whole bunch of things to advertise our listings, but at the very top, we've got a listing presentation. Now at a future point in time, we will cover this, but just know that you can do this for yourself already. You can click on buyer presentation and do the exact same thing. So we can create a whole, if you would like to customize a virtual buyer experience for your clients and present it to them with a really nice guide, you can do that right here. But let's look at the listings. You've got two options here. You've got a dark, what they call the modern look, and you've got a light, which they call the classic look. Most of the elements are identical between them. The pages, the templates are set up pretty much the same. The location of some of the graphics, the color of the graphics, and the font are going to be different in most of them, but some of the pages will be difficult to distinguish back and forth. Really, it's just a matter of which one do you prefer. Now, I prefer the white colored pages personally for print material, but I will say these black pages look really, really nice on a computer screen. So if you, I would recommend look at both, see which one you like, which one fits your style, your brand, test it out with your logos, and decide and then fully customize the one that you prefer. So let's look at this modern one right here. We're going to click use. Now, when this pulls up on the left-hand side, we will see a whole list of different pages. These are all the different pages to the templates that we can use. On the right-hand side, this is all blank. We are only going to include the pages that we wish to include. So on the left-hand side, when we see instructions, and this pops in here, we are not going to want to print these instructions and present them to our clients. Again, this is something that we're showing that we've created ourselves, and they don't need to know that we just followed some instructions to fill it out. These are a great piece. This is a great piece to read through and understand how to customize this. It's pretty simple. Now this instructions page, because we don't want this printed, I'm going to, at the bottom here, click pages. It's going to explode and I can see all the pages that I have added, which right now is just a blank page, and the instructions page. I want to remove this instructions page. Now you can do this to any of the templates that you add. You can add additional or remove the pages if you wish to not have them in there. I can come here and duplicate it. I can add another page, or right here is what I want to do. I want to delete that current design. So now instructions goes away. I'm going to scroll down. The very front page is this one. So I can hit add new page. I can apply it to the page that I'm looking at right now, which is what I want to do. This first one, I don't need a blank page in my listing consult packet. And so I'm going to point at this and I'm going to say apply to this page. And it takes this blank page and it drops all of the elements into it. So how do we customize it? So we've got a few elements that we're going to want to customize. Obviously your headshot here. Now on the bottom right, and this is the same in all of designs, you can zoom in. So if you want to choose, if we want to zoom into 125, we can. You can manually zoom in as well and then scroll around like normal. So at the bottom, obviously we want to change this to a different headshot. So you're going to click the item over here to images. If you have an image loaded that you want to use, you simply point at it and replace image. And it snaps it in there. You guys have probably seen this before. If you've used designs, you can click on any image, point at a different templated image on the side, and then replace it. Now, if you want to add an image new, you'll just hit the plus sign and it drops it in there in full resolution. Anytime you delete an image, you'll get this image placeholder. That's the same size and placement as your previous image, and it gives you the ability to come back over here and to drop something back in. If you want to get rid of it entirely, you just simply hit delete a second time, or you can right click. I'm sorry, you click on the item up at the top right, we're going to hit remove. Now this does work with Microsoft Word shortcuts, the same as you'd use on a Mac. So delete, Control C, Control V for copy, paste, that all for the most part works. You can use it all. Okay, compliments of, and then you're just going to customize this to yourself. We're going to select all of this. I type my first name. I'm going to type my last name. And because the spacing's off now, I'm just going to move this over and line it up properly. This is pretty simple. It works very, very much like Microsoft Publisher, if you guys have used this in the past. Very similar to PowerPoint, if you've customized in PowerPoint as well. This is designed after a program called Canva. So if you're familiar with Canva, you'll be very familiar with this piece as well. Just know once you spend a little bit of time with it, you'll become very comfortable. Don't be afraid when you encounter things that you're not familiar with. So for instance, when I hit this DBA name, this is a placeholder for your Market Center's logo. So I'm going to come over here to logos on the left hand. Remember, I've clicked this logo. I'm going to come over here to the logos that I've stored. I'll show you how to do this here in a moment. And I'm going to replace it. Now, when I replace it, the size and the placement is a little bit different. Well, that's not a problem because I can just move it around. Okay. You can make it larger or smaller. You can change the centering. And you'll see these little blue lines that show up and they'll snap into place. They'll align with certain objects, make it a little bit easier for you to get the placement just right. All right. Be sure to customize all your agent branding info right here. And then for every one of, now you might just put on this first one because the very first thing you want to do is not customize it for a specific property. What we're doing right now is creating a template. You're branding it to yourself. You're going to put in your own statistics. You're going to customize it to your own marketing plan. Anything that might be time sensitive for COVID-19 and the precautions you're taking for your sellers, or the special type of marketing that you're doing for our unique market right now. This is what we're doing is we're customizing the entire template. Once you have this finished, I'm going to show you in a moment how to go and duplicate this template, and then you'll customize it for that property specifically. All these elements are separate, even the KW logo up top. So if you want to change it to the full Keller Williams, or if you want to drop in what is red, all of these items, this is professionally designed, but they give you the ability to redesign it yourself if you choose. Okay, so say we've completed this and we want to go on to the next one. So I'm going to, up here at the top left, click templates. It's going to show me the full list. And Andrew does say, yeah, very similar design in the PowerPoint presentation. This is going to work just like it. Just like on PowerPoint, when you have a list of different templated slides you can drop in, this is just the same. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to add a new page. Remember, if I were to apply to this page, which I'm going to do right now, and oh no, now I've lost my cover page, right? Well, I can very simply up here at the top, hit undo. Let's hit, well, I guess it doesn't work, folks. Undo does not work when dropping a template in. Look at this, we're learning things on the fly.
That's how we break it.
This is how we break it. You know, I'm kind of excited when I find stuff like this because I get to open a new support ticket, and that's how this all gets better.
That's true.
All right. So we're going to apply this to this page. So don't apply to the page. In this case, we're going to drop in, we're going to add a new page. Now at the bottom, we push this up and we can see all our pages in order. Now we can see we've got our cover page first. We've got our next page here. And this does have pieces you'll want to customize. Obviously your headshot here. If you choose to redesign the listing presentation where it doesn't follow the same flow that is outlined right here, I would recommend you probably move this around. So if you're going to talk about what the benefits are to using you as a realtor in representing for sale, then you'd want to move this up if that's presented before the marketing plan. Anyhow, just understand this is used as a table of contents. You can change the images here if you choose, pretty simply. We'll go back up to templates. We'll hit plus to add a new page, and it drops it in there. This is going to be your property specifically. So this entire thing, you'll just type in whatever the property address is. This right here is where you're going to be doing some research on MLS, and you're going to be comparing it you're going to compare this home to the MLS records or the neighborhood in general. So now understand, this does not, just having a really nice looking digital marketing piece does not, or digital listing consult rather, does not replace the need for you to be a local market expert. So I highly recommend, before jumping into this, dive in to MLS, know the neighborhood well, have the neighborhood statistics, have the home pulled up on tax records at least, if not a previous listing of the same home, and get to know it really well. You will have the ability here to put in the specifics about the home itself. You'll just customize all of this. This piece is really cool. I'm not going to dive into details on every single one of these pages, but this one I will, because this is a great piece. Blow this up. This right here is a neighborhood snapshot. Now, if you have used the neighborhood nurture smart plan, then this is the same data that is sent out. This is the same data then when consumers are using your website or your app and they look at a neighborhood's information, this is the same data that pops up there. The nice thing is it is completely customizable for every neighborhood, and you don't have to do anything except for select the neighborhood. It's going to pop in there automatically. So when we're on this page, you simply click on that snapshot. On the far left-hand side, we're going to click on KWLS. Now this is where you're going to pull in specific property details, but in this case, I'm going to click snapshots. We're going to search for a neighborhood name. So if I want to look up Bent Tree, let's see, Bent Tree in Dallas. Simply click the neighborhood that you've been searching. That's a bad example. It looks like it doesn't have up-to-date information about Bent Tree. Try a different one. Inspiration. You find the one you want. You make sure this neighborhood snapshot is selected. You point to the neighborhood you want, you replace the image, and it just drops in automatically. So now not every neighborhood will have an active days on market, but it should have total active, total pending, average price per square foot. And it'll have the average listing price and sold price as well. So now it's up to you. If you wish to overwrite that average days on market, you can drop it in right there. You can be a local expert. You can just share that information with them. Now, if you do want to edit that so it looks better, we can do things like this. So I'm going to click shapes. I'm going to take a square. I'm just going to put that square right over the top of where that NA is. Up here at the top, I can change the fill color. I'm going to change it all the way to white. Try that again. And hit apply. And then the stroke color, right here next to apply, I can hit where it's transparent. Basically, I'm eliminating the border and applying. Now that NA has disappeared, I'll replace that with something. This is where being a neighborhood expert comes in. Understand, most of these should work, and sometimes folks, things don't. And so we need to know how to update. So you can take that piece, drop it in right there. If you want to change the font size, we can change it down, put it wherever we'd like. I can bold it so it looks a little bit more like the rest. And now I've got an accurate days on market for that neighborhood. Right here, be sure that you customize it to the neighborhood name as well, both top and bottom. You can keep it at your property. Better yet, you type in the address here. Anything that you can do to customize it to the person is better. Now, I actually just caught myself. Right now, we're working on a template, right? But this would be when you're customizing it to the person specifically. In your template, you will want to include your custom app download. For me, it's app.texashold'em.com, but you also might just have, instead, yours might just be app.kw.com/AQGL, whatever it is, right? You've got a unique code. Make sure to put that there. Hopefully they download your app. All right, let's look back at the templates. As we scroll through, we'll see most of these, we'll need to look, if we're looking at marketing plans, we'll need to update that for our time right now, but that may shift a little bit. This right here is pretty neat. We talk about the lore. We need to understand our statistics, where we fit in the market. This is a chance to talk about yourself. Now, if you're brand new in the business, you may not include this piece right here. Or if you do, you may delete all the statistics on the right side. You can use the second one instead. And remember, if you're not super proud of your numbers, then use your team's numbers or use your market center's numbers. You're a part of a very, very large real estate team. Most agents that would do this from other brokerages would likely include their entire brokerage and not just them as an individual. So understand, just because you're one in a market center of 300, there is power in numbers, and you should be talking about that. You can customize all this. Once we have finished customizing our entire template, and we've got our entire piece that we want to share every single time, we're going to hit done. Now, if you haven't saved it, it's going to ask you if you want to save it. At this point, it has saved. So now that we've created the template, we can hit print. I'm going to see it right here. I'm going to make a copy. Now, first, I'm going to rename this one Listing Consult Template. So I'm going to know that I won't edit this one directly. I'll come in here and make a copy every single time. I'll click the little options button, make a copy, and then I can rename this one with prop address, listing consult. And then I would have one of these for every single property that I'd be creating a consult for. This entire thing is going to be a copy of what I just created. I'll come in here, and this copy is what I will customize to that seller and to that address specifically. Guys, we just have 1 minute left. I think it's pretty clear and pretty simple to do. What questions do you have at this point?
We're quiet today.
It's so quiet. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We get a show of hands, or if you guys want to chime in, who's going to create one this week for a seller? Awesome. Let's get another show of hands. Who has a listing appointment set upcoming and has never used a formal listing presentation before and is really excited about presenting this?
Hey, Seth, Candace says that she has a question for you.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, go for it, Candace.
So if you do, say, one of those two and you've filled in your app information and your personal information, everything else, does it move over to the other templates as well? Or are you having to create each template as you go?
So my recommendation is to create one master template that you'll go and update. And then every time you have a listing consult, you'll make a copy of that master template and customize it to that property specifically. Anytime, say you go from using app.kw.com/unique code to using a vanity URL, like I use app.texashold'em.com. If I make that copy to it, anytime I have that kind of behavior change, I'll just go and update my master template. So any properties that I create off that are updated as well. Does that answer your question?
So what if you do, can you upload like individual documents as well? So like I know this is listing based, but say you did a buyer's consultation, can you upload that information also into the master template, like outside documents?
Yeah, so the way that we would likely do that is, we think the best way to, so you have a buyer presentation you can create as well. And I think probably your best way.
Or let me bringing it back to the listing side. What if we wanted to put in like showing data and things like that into the listing presentation?
Right, absolutely. Because you may want to include even just like a quick CMA, just a list of comps that you want to include with it as well. So I think that's great. Let me pull this up real quick because they have changed recently how PDFs interact. Just since Family Reunion, there's been some modifications in how PDFs react. I wanted to see real fast. Make sure I can do this the way that I want. So I think your best bet probably is if you have a PDF from the outside that you want to pull in, you can pull that in as a design when you go to create your custom designs. The other way you can do it is just get an image of that entire thing. So you can download the PDF, you can just convert it over to a JPEG and then drop the entire JPEG for the whole page. Does that make sense? That's what I would do, at least for the time being. Okay, awesome. Good stuff. Well, guys, we are just a couple minutes over on time. I'll answer these questions real quick. Karen says, do I need to brand each page with my information, or is there a way to update my information once? You'll need to brand each page one time for that master template. Right now, your marketing profile will not just automatically customize the entire thing to you. And so you'll need to brand all those individuals. But just understand, if you spend enough time the first time, then it'll be branded to you forever. And then you can just come in and make updates if you need to in the future. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Andrew says, convert the PDF to JPEG for outside documents. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can cover stuff like that in a future time, but there's a lot of resources online for that. So stay tuned this week. We're going to talk about conducting these virtual listing consults and then also holding virtual open houses. You guys have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.